Okay, we are looking at a second flow that we could use as a pulse raiser. Again, so the goal is get your heart rate going, get some movement, good quality movement working. So a couple of activations, a couple of mobility drills combined in a method that's going to get your heart rate going a bit more. The first 2 rounds of this flow are starting on the floor. So that could end up being spending quite a long time in this press up position on the ground. If that starts to grain on your wrist a little bit, feel free to just sit back, join the round, roll out your wrists and come back into it. Don't just fight through the pain, relax them, loosen them off and then go back in. So our first round we're going to look at the outer hip drop from a prone position. So get your hands in a comfortable position, shoulder width apart, either palms down or knuckles down, whichever you prefer. Coming up onto my toes, feet shoulder width apart. All I'm going to do is roll my feet onto their side, lower my bum down towards my hand, pulling up nice and high over the top, going from outer right hip down to outer left hip down. Trying to keep my arms relatively straight if possible. Let my bum lift up nice and high, going from left to right from there. That is quite a stretch for the obliques, but also it's quite hard for most people to get that rotation strength going, so that should be a good activator as well. Second round, I'm going to go right hip down, left hip down. Then I'm going to do a rotation climber all the way underneath. So I'm going to bring my right knee up, underneath, going as far through as possible. So depending on how flexible you are, you should get that knee as high up and as far across as possible. So if you can, get your thigh to your forearm, do that. If you can only get your knee to your wrist, that's fine, but don't just stop there for the sake of it. Try and get further and further every single time you do a rep. So you're looking for full range of movement when we can. Your outside of your hip can touch the floor on that movement. It probably will, as long as we don't actually rest and push up from the ground. So it can touch, but it can't sit on the floor. Third round, we are going to do outer hip drop, outer hip drop, rotation climber, rotation climber. Then I'm going to do a strict walkout, not stripped. So I'm going to walk my hands back toward my feet, trying to keep my legs as locked out and as straight as possible. So the idea for a strict hand walkout is I'm trying to get a bit of a hamstring stretch again. So again, same on the way down, keep your legs pretty much locked back. So I've got a bit of a hamstring tension there, going into our strict walkout. Fourth round, again I'll go through a little bit quicker for the start. Outer hip drop, rotation climber, strict hand walkout onto my feet. Last round in, we add in a reverse lunge, overhead extension for a nice hip flexor stretch, and then we walk back out into our prone position on the floor so we can start our next round of outer hip drops. So that is our second flow for pulse raiser. Again, a little bit of mobility, a little bit of activations. End result should end up that you're feeling a little bit warm, a little bit sweaty, a little bit red in the face. That's it. We'll see you next time.